To Night Owl from Dogfish by Holly Goldberg Sloan and Meg Wolitzer. Today, as you listen, watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down word by word and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Hi, I'm Amanda Ziva. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and another First Chapter Friday video. This week, I am so excited to read to you the first few pages, because there's not really chapters, of To Night Owl from Dogfish, and this is the perfect book for this week because, or for summer in general, because it takes place at a summer camp. What better setting for a summer story than at a summer camp? Other things I love about this book, number one, it's an epistolary, which means it's told in letters. Actually, it's told in emails back and forth between these two characters. And what makes this story even cooler is that it's written by two authors. So each of the authors take on the role of one of the characters and write that part, and then the other one responds, and they go back and forth in these emails for the whole story. So you can see the format is like emails, an email chain back and forth. I've done a little research and I haven't been able to figure out which author wrote which character, so if you do figure that out, let me know. But in the description box, I've included a couple of interviews with the authors so you can learn more about their process of co-writing together. Also, if after reading this book you decide that you really like stories that are told in letters, go back earlier in this playlist and check out The Night Diary, because that is also a novel told in letters. And in that description box, I link other novels in this style. So I'm going to jump in and read the back so you know what this particular epistolary is about, and I just know you are going to love it. Avery is intense, organized, and afraid of many things, especially deep water. Bett is fearless, spontaneous, and loves the ocean. What the two girls have in common is that they are both 12 years old, and they are both being raised by single gay dads. When their dads fall in love, Bett and Avery are sent against their wishes to the same sleepaway camp. Their dads hope that they will become friends and possibly, one day, even sisters. But things soon get out of hand for the girls and for their parents, too. And they find themselves on an adventure that none of them could have ever predicted. Also, side note, if you're a fan of the movie Parent Trap, this is like a little bit of a retelling of that story. And it's just so great. So I'm going to dive right in. Again, there aren't chapters, so I'm just going to read you the first few pages aloud and call it good. So, To Night Owl from Dogfish, one day early in April. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. But I'm writing you anyway. This could go into your spam. Maybe you're the kind of person who checks the spam. I don't. I found your email address online. You have a strange name. I've never met anyone named Avery, but that made it easier to find you. So thank you for having that name. Also, thank you for going to a school that posts pictures of field trips plus uses first name dot last name at theshipfieldschool.org plus gives their students their own email. I don't go to that kind of school. So this is kind of awkward, but I'm just going to say it. Your dad and my dad met 3 months ago in Chicago at a building expo, which was downtown at the Marriott. I'm not going to explain how I know, but they are now a couple. That isn't my business, only it is my business because my dad wants to send me to this place called CIGI this summer. I've never heard of CIGI. The website says Challenge, Influence, Guide, Inspire. That was cut and pasted. Those words are how they got the name CIGI. It is a summer program in Michigan for inquisitive tweens and teens ages 10 to 15. You could already be bored reading this email, but guess what? You are supposed to go to CG too. I'm not going. It doesn't matter what my dad says, but maybe if you won't go to CG either, it will stop him from trying to force me to go. That's what I'm writing about. Bett Devlin. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. I think you are confused and have the wrong person. If my papa was in a relationship with your dad, there is a 100% chance I would know about it. We're very close, and it's been just the two of us almost my whole life, so we're best friends and he tells me everything. As for my school, it's helpful to have your own email so you can write to a teacher in the middle of the day to ask about a project. Ms. Pickering sometimes responds in 5 minutes. No one from outside my school community or family has ever found my email address before and written to me. The school might need to upgrade their privacy and security settings. I will post a note online. About CG. My friend Callie Workman's older sister went there last summer. I'm signed up for the 8-week session. It's kind of a creative nerd camp. At CG, you take classes called Booking Around and Exotic Robot, and you also do archaeology searches for real fossils in Dig This. Plus, they have microwave popcorn night for Shut Eye Cinema, where they show foreign movies before bed and everyone talks about it together looking for themes. The best part is they don't force you to do sports. I am not athletic, and also I hate to swim. I have some excessive worries. Eating expired food, getting a disease, etc., but drowning is my biggest one. You will never have to go to CG. I'm the only one of us going there. Avery A. Bloom. P.S. I'm 12 and I live in New York City. My papa's an architect. Even though you sent your email to the wrong person, I'm curious. How old are you? And where exactly are you writing from? From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. I'm also 12 and I live in California, but I've been to New York City. It was a summer and really hot and crazy crowded. I felt sorry for the people there, but super sorry for the animals. My dad constructs swimming pools and fountains, anything with water. He doesn't design the stuff, he builds it. So your dad is an architect. Usually my dad is fighting with architects. You said your dad shares everything. Do you see your dad's text messages? Every time my dad hears his phone ping, he smiles like, ha ha ha, oh, this guy just kills me. I've been camping lots of times, but I've never been sent to camp. We don't have money for that. My dad wants me to go because of you. He wants me to be your friend. No offense, but that's not something I'm going to do. Bett Devlin. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. Bett. How do I know you aren't some kind of hacker from Ukraine? You don't say the Ukraine, you just say Ukraine, which makes sense because you wouldn't say the France. And this is all a scam to get me to reveal details of my life so that you can drain my bank account or maybe something worse. It's savings only, just so you know, and it's for college. I'm going to be very careful in answering your email. I checked the Google Calendar I share with my papa, and he was in Chicago in February at a building expo, but that proves nothing. My papa is not here this weekend. He's in San Antonio for work. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but just so you know, I'm not home alone. There's an adult here in the apartment with me. Plus, this is a doorman building, and since a famous person lives upstairs, not that famous, they are always very careful with security. I could text my papa right now and clear this up. I am going to do that because I'm not allowed to be communicating online with people I don't know. You won't hear back from me because you have the wrong person and the wrong dad. Although you did have the right camp, but that might be some kind of weird coincidence. Avery A. Bloom. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. It's not a work trip to San Antonio. Your dad's with my dad in Texas. My dad's not lying to me, but he is still lying. He told me he was going to see his mom. Her name is Betty. I'm named after her, but I got rid of the Y for obvious reasons. Betty, I call her Gaga, lives in a small town 2 hours from San Antonio. My dad is so into your dad that he wants the original Betty to meet him. This is serious. Bett Devlin. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. I want you to know that I've sent a text message to my papa and I haven't heard back. This is very unusual, but it doesn't mean anything. I also want to say that when you write in all capital letters, it feels like you are yelling at me, and cyberbullying is a very important topic of our time. And side note, you are lucky to have a grandma, even one who lives 2 hours from San Antonio, if that is even something real. My family circle is very small, but that is private information. Avery A. Bloom. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. Just to make this equal, here is something private about my family while we wait for your dad to return a text message. I had 2 dads, but one died when I was little, so I don't remember him. For 11 years, it's just been me and my dad. It has to stay that way. We've got everything we need. My dad's never taken anyone to meet his mom since we lost Philip. Did your dad return your text? What's he telling you? Bett Devlin, not from Ukraine, but from the Venice, California. P.S. Here's hoping we never meet in person. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. Just see, Bett, ignore my last email. Here are the text messages. Me, Papa, are you in Texas with a man from California visiting a woman named Betty? No answer to this for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Me. Papa, can you call me? Papa, yes, I'll call you in 10 minutes. Me. But you aren't in Texas with a man who builds swimming pools, right? Papa, I'm gonna call you. 15 minutes. Me. Okay, but do you have a new boyfriend, yes or no? He didn't even answer. He didn't wait 15 minutes. He called. They did meet, and they are now in some kind of relationship. I can't believe he hadn't told me because we never have secrets. He said he was waiting for the right time, and also he wanted to be certain this was something real. So I guess that's more bad news. It's something real. Here's an even worse part. They want us to get to know each other and become close like sisters or maybe even twins because we're the same age. Because it's possible we might become a family. I used quote marks around that word because it means I feel ironic about it. I told my papa we already were a family, and he said, well, I'd like us to be a bigger one. I would not like us to be a bigger one. I'm going to tell him I changed my mind about going to CG this summer. Maybe I will just stay home and make my own fossils. Thanks for the heads up about everything. I hope we never meet too. Avery A. Bloom. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. Avery. While you were talking to your dad, I called my dad and said I was in bad pain from an ear infection, which I do get from being in water since I surf, and you're not supposed to be in the bay after it rains because of pollution. But I don't always pay attention to that since the biggest waves are at the same time as the rain because the surf is affected by the storm. Anyway, I was faking to see if he'd come home early from Texas. He said to take Tylenol and use the eardrops in the bathroom. He didn't even ask to speak with Dee, who's staying here while he's away. I don't want a bigger family either. That's why I wrote you. I also really don't want a sister or a stepsister or a half-sister or even a fake twin or whatever you'd be. Okay, here's something else important that maybe your dad doesn't know about my dad, but he has a peanut allergy. This can be super dangerous, and also it means we can't go for Thai food, which means your dad can never go for Thai food either. Because even if part of your dad's fork touched a penis-based sauce, my dad could be in trouble if he was close by because some people spit a little bit when they talk. Feel free to tell your dad this. A lot of people really love Thai food. Bett Devlin. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. Bett. I'm feeling sick. I've made mint tea and I'm gonna lie down. It's gonna be really bad when I try to go to sleep tonight. I have trouble with that anyway. I'm sort of a night owl. I have blackout shades so I can make my bedroom very dark, and I also have a sound machine. I never use any of the water settings, but I can feel calmer by listening to Wind in the Pines. Do you have a sound machine? I will email you tomorrow after my papa is home. We shouldn't communicate between now and then for personal health reasons. Avery A. Bloom. P.S. I want to be a writer, so I notice spelling and grammar mistakes in emails and in books. Bett Devlin. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. Subject, you don't know me. Avery. I like to read, but I don't have time to be a bookworm. Plus, I'm not a great speller. I'm okay with that because Snoop Dogg and a man named Churchill, who gets credit for the slogan that goes on shopping bags that says keep calm and carry on, were both bad spellers. So maybe Churchill wrote it first as keep calm and carry on. We may never know. Anyway, spelling happens in some tiny speck part of the brain and isn't important to the world now because of spell check. You said not to communicate, but I have to tell you one more thing. My dad goes by Marlowe, but his first name is really Douglas. That's why it's D. Marlowe Devlin. So he changed his first name to his middle name, and maybe if your dad thought of him as a Doug, he might not like him so much. Tell your dad. Bett Devlin. From Avery Bloom to Bett Devlin. Subject, you don't know me. Bett. Just so you know, I am not a mean person, and in fact, I was voted most thoughtful in my father-daughter book club because I never forget snacks, but also because I post online summaries of the books for the girls who don't finish the material. I want to say that your tone is harsh, especially when you write things like, tell your dad, in all caps. My papa came home this afternoon, and I did tell him how your dad goes by his middle name. Do you know what papa did? He smiled, and he said, I'm so glad you two girls are communicating. That's a great start. Then it got even worse. He said, I know his first name is Douglas, I know about the peanut problem and how much he likes action movies, and that he once broke his ankle skydiving. Honey, I'm crazy about him. I think he's the one. I mean, no offense to your dad or anything, but I'm the one. Avery A. Bloom. From Bett Devlin to Avery Bloom. You don't know me. I'm glad you get this now. We have to do everything to stop this. I'm ready on my end. We have a chalkboard in our kitchen and it's leave messages. I just erased buy trash bags and wrote in really big letters, I'm not going to CG this summer. You can't make me. Bett Devlin. P.S. I'm the one here too. So if you're not already hooked, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be. This book is hilarious and it's fun and it's perfect for summer. And you should totally get a copy and read it for yourself to find out what happens to Bett and Avery. Spoiler, they do end up at camp together. And what happens to their dads and their family and like the epic disaster that... I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, you should get this book and read it. I will put links in the description box so you can pick up your copy or visit your local library or local indie bookstore to get one. But no matter how you get it, I hope you love it and that you are having a great summer. Happy reading. To continue reading to Night Owl from Dogfish, pick up a copy from your library, local indie bookstore, or via the link in the description box. Then make sure you check out the rest of the First Chapter Friday playlist. I have tons of great middle grade and YA stories waiting for you, one for each week of the year. This week's mystery quote says, I'm thinking now that maybe all stories are there to explain something. Please like this video and subscribe so you can stay connected for more great First Chapter Friday videos and other videos you can use in your classroom. Happy reading!